But I think, the consequences of Putin's decision to invade Ukraine are being felt the world over, and we here in the UK are no different. During Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday, Boris Johnson announced that he'll set out an energy independence plan as a price hike looms, exacerbated by the ongoing situation in Ukraine. The Prime Minister stressed that the UK is taking a sober, responsible approach in ending the importation of Russian fossil fuels. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer called for a windfall tax on North Sea oil and gas producers, but the PM warned that such a move would only lead to higher energy prices. So, Arlene, as we reflect on the head-to-head from Wednesday, what do we think is the right course of action going forward on energy security, but also on the immediate cost of living issues?
So I think it's probably a little bit of intervention plus having a better energy policy, because the energy policy at present doesn't deal with our security of supply issues, never mind our cost issues. There's a real need to check back. And I know a lot of people are talking about shale gas and fracking. I'm not sure that provides all of the answers. We need to probably look at bringing in more liquefied natural gas as well. I think we bring in about 9% at the moment. So do we need to up that to deal with some of the cost pressures? Obviously, in the medium to longer term, do we need to look at shale gas? Do we need to look at small nuclear reactors? I think the answer is yes. But having said that, when you look at shale gas, there are the associated problems of geological issues up there. Of course, when they did the test holes, there were tremors, and it's whether you can commercially take that shale gas out of the ground, and those are big problems for us all. But in the short to medium term, there needs to be some interventions from government in relation to the cost of living, and it's not just energy, I'm afraid, as well. Dehenna, I mean, we talk about wheat coming from Ukraine. That's going to have a big impact on the cost of living in terms of food and the supply of food. So there needs to be a real strategy right across government using DEFRA as well as energy policy to deal with the pressures of what is a war in Europe now, and we need to recognise that that's the case.
Yeah, well, we on our show for months now have been talking about kind of energy security. And Paul, I'm kind of curious of your stance on the sort of Labour proposal of a windfall tax. Is it something that you support, and do you think it would actually be effective?
I do support it, and I think it would be effective. The reality is, Dehenna, we've got millions of families across our country on the brink at the moment financially, and it seems to me entirely reasonable to levy a windfall tax on energy companies in terms of their oil and gas profits, companies who recently have actually made record profits. It seems to me to be a no-brainer. I also think we need to look at removing VAT on energy bills. I think we need to revisit the cuts to universal credit. I think we need to revisit the national insurance increase. All of these things which are going to have a massive impact in terms of people's disposable income and the ability of people really and families to be able to feed themselves and to heat their homes. I mean, on the broader context, I am constantly fascinated and staggered at the fact that as an advanced economy like Britain does not have energy security. I mean, and we're seeing now the effect of successive government decisions, governments who took their eye off the ball and didn't do enough to secure our energy. And I have to say, I think that is a result also of doing too much in terms of paying attention to environmental activists. We all want to look after the environment, of course we do. But I think the likes of Greta Thunberg have influenced our policy too much. And the reality is, if we're going to be looking at future energy security, we do need to talk about nuclear. We do need to talk about clean coal technology. We do need to talk about fracking. We do need to talk about securing our domestic supply and not relying on foreign autocrats. And that seems to me priority number one for any government. This needs to be sorted now.
The thing I'm most baffled by in what you said, Paul, is that we actually agree on something to do with taxation policy there when it comes to VAT on energy bills, which is something that I've been pushing.
I knew I'd win you over one day, Dehenna. You'd come good. I knew you'd come good.
I think it's you that's coming good, promoting cuts in taxes for a change.